Hey yo, this is another video. So yeah, it's about evolving. Okay, all right. So if we're not evolving, all right, let's get right into the facts. Uh, no problem playing jacks. We get right into it. You drop the ball, pick them up, and move on. All right. So okay. So everybody knows about the little so-called virus or the COVID thing. All right. Boo hoo, boo hoo. Okay. If you're still around, you gotta be thinking like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Is this really real or is this fake? So like, you gotta think. The thing is, I have a video. I keep saying this over and over. This is a spiritual virus. Remember, if you're made out of 70% water, I mean, like a human person, the earth is made out of 70% water. Okay, think about it like this: the earth is changing, and people have to change with it. I mean, spiritually. So I keep saying this. If you're a highly melanated person, a so-called black person, so-called African American person, if you've been going to church and they've been preaching prosperity this whole time in your church, shame, shame, shame on your preacher. You should spit in his face just like I spit in God's face and slap him in the face. You're like, whoa, what is this guy taking this? Well, I'm taking it this far because you got to think about it. The government gives the church a 501c3 tax break in order for them to give them what they want them to teach. So, all right, so I'm gonna tell you, a lot of people have to go and have to die. This just has to happen. Some people just are born to follow, and some people wake up in time in order to change what's going on with their lives and what's going on around them. So and that's all. Change is also chaos and also is evolving, or that's what evolving is, from something else to become something anew, like the butterfly from the chrysalis and the cocoon, or the dung beetle turns into the kepra. Same thing. You got to evolve. So if you in that church and they're preaching prosperity and not even teaching you really anything spiritual, so they're actually putting you in, they're pigeonholing your soul or your actual power. That's why I say you should actually slap the pastor or spit in his face, because you should do this to yourself, because we're not shaking out of this shit to walk out of. We have legs and a mind of our own to step away from these things, but we let these things take its course. And like, oh, this is what I should do because I grew up in this all my life. I pulled myself out of the church at like 24. So, it's been something strenuous, but that's the thing. You pull yourself out of you get kicked out of the Garden of Eden, you become, you decide to become higher than God. Okay, so that's really evolving, not staying stagnant and being a sheep or being inside the herd. So it can something can lord over you, or in a pasture, and become and become your master, or a pastor is your master. So, but yeah, a friend of mine, but anyway, we were building and things happen. So, and I got, see, that's what I'm saying. I can always say like, hey, if I didn't come up with something, I can always give you, I can give a reference to myself or to someone outside of myself and be like, man, I remember when that happened, and I can learn from anything. So if I can't learn from anything, I'm not trying to change or become something anew, which is what evolving. 4 minutes and 8 seconds, great time, great time. So I said the whole thing about the earth changing and people, highly melanated people, so-called black people. The thing is, they're keeping your spiritual self or your soul low. Thing about financial, which is low frequency. So that means you're in the same boat or plane as white people or people outside of as highly melanated or dark skinned, because they don't have souls. So if you don't have a soul, you're in a low frequency. You're bound or allowed to be attacked by animals like sharks or dogs or and like wolves or whatever it is. If you're out in the open or in the woods or anything like that, in the water or something, or you bound to anything, like you're bound to receive some type of a spiritual attack, or like things can, you make yourself susceptible to these things because you have a soul, and that means you're open to receive things at a fast pace. But when you don't change with how everything is going, you're actually on a lower plane. When you're on a lower plane or a lower frequency, that means you are just like everybody else that hates you. You're just like them. They say our ancestors have a proverb in the not the book of Thomas, but from Hermes, which is Tahuti, um, in mythology. So he was the wise one, or the record keeper, and he would say there will be a people that have faces of the Egyptians, but have the mind of another people. They talk about like white people, or when you say any type of oppressor or anybody that's outside of your so-called race or whatever that doesn't resemble you. So you're susceptible to things that could happen to you. So that's why they say I'll put 8 and 9 together, and I got 17, and figured out like that's why so many black people are dying, because they're at a lower frequency thinking about getting his money. That's why so much rap is coming out talking about getting paid and all this other things and killing people at a low frequency. Now you're susceptible to all these things that are outside yourself, and being just like some other people, and not being what you're supposed to be, which is a spiritual being. Because soul in Spanish is spelled SOL, which is the sun, but sun synonymous with SUN and SON. But the sun heats up a lot faster. When they say a lot of black people in the room, it's a lot hotter in the room, because we have internal heat inside of us. So if you're not receiving anything um, spiritual, you're receiving what's lower frequency, and you're devolving instead of evolving. It means you're like subtracting from your actual spiritual currency, or your actual soul is not getting it's getting repleted. Things are getting taken away from it. All right, so what I'm gonna do is, that should be that's why I don't really want to talk too much. I want to give you a physical example outside of me talking. So every time I do this, I'm gonna say this. So when I show you this, it's not going to be with any volume or anything you can hear, but you can see the video moving, but you got to read the captions. So if you watching these videos, you got to be thinking outside the box, or mindful enough to, hey, all I got to do is hit pause and play again, so I can read. If they're talking too fast, all I do is hit pause and play. That's very simple. It's not very hard. So you don't expect me to do all the work for you. I mean, I'm putting it out there for you. All you got to do is use your noodle, or your mind a little bit, and it'll be right there for you. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm putting it there. I'm doing it like this so it can be accessible for you to get to it, or it can be right there in your fingertips. But if I put the volume on it, it wouldn't be the way you can get it, to where the information will be blocked. If you just read between the lines of what I'm trying to say, all right, and you'll be like, oh, I see why he's doing that. Okay, but I'm only trying to give the information so you can get what I see, and you can't just remember, just know it's no volume. Okay, here it comes. Okay, it's just dialogue in the captions. Pay attention. So evolving past was there. So I spoke about earlier. I'm gonna give you a quick way to do it. All right, now a quick way to do like if you're a highly melanated person, this can really help you. So-called black person, this can really help you. Get your hands on some mythology. You like mythology? What are you in middle school? Like, no, life is a school. Don't think of it as not a school because you're here to learn. When you go to sleep, that's where you really live at. So everything around you, TV, billboards, all that shit is a distraction. So all you have to do is look through the distraction and get to what you need to get to in order to get to what you need to be. So I say get you some mythology and read that and start to learn and not just learn what you read, not just like learn what they're saying, but understand what you're reading. You might have to read it a few times because it's high science. But the thing is, I'm gonna tell you a secret. This world is an illusion or a matrix. So if that's the case, what you're reading in those mythology books or in comic books or cartoons, whatever, that's mythology placed in entertainment. So if you're reading mythology, you're reading a script. When I read mythology, those same things that I'm reading ends up happening to me. You are drawn to characters because all those characters in different mythology for black people, highly melanated, so-called black people, highly melanated people, so-called African American people, because we have our ancestors created all mythology all around the world. Because every time I look at every mythology, they keep saying the word ancient. And highly melanated people, or so-called black people, are the oldest people in the world. So if that's the case, we wrote every mythology. Don't seclude yourself. Get your hand on every mythology you can. They're all the same stories, just different names because they're in different locations. So I'm telling you, you'll do yourself a favor by doing that. And also while you're reading mythology, have sex with your woman, or if you're a woman listening to this, have sex with your man. But what you can do is role play. I had to do it the hard way, you know what I'm saying? But if you have a husband or a boyfriend, or you have a wife or a girlfriend, what y'all do is if y'all can say, hey, I'm reading this. When we read this together, we can role play and take on these roles and raise ourselves up spiritually. That's a fast way to do it. I'm 1418 just passed. 418 is 13. 12 and 1, 12 disciples, 12 zodiacs, 12 knights, the round table of King Arthur. 12 and 1, you are your own savior. Now I just put the ball in your hands. Now the shot clock is 24 again, come up the court. Now you got to score. This is how you score. Okay? That's how you score. That's the easy way to do it. It's not easy because now things will get harder for you, but that means you raising yourself up or your soul. That's all you're doing is evolving past the bullshit below you. Because that shit at church, he gonna probably give you like 5 to 10 maybe scriptures during that service. He gonna start dancing and screaming. Then the organ player gonna start playing, the drums start playing, the bass player gonna start playing. Then somebody in the church gonna start dancing. Go ahead on, amen, amen. And then it's almost time for you to start giving for the offering, and the service is almost over. It's like, you know what I'm saying. So you gotta think about it. Everywhere you are, you at a service. Everywhere you are is holy ground. So don't look to go just to be at a church to learn something like for a spiritual reason. Everything around you is something spiritual. So everywhere you walk is holy ground. Think of it that way. So everything is a learning experience. Okay, so it's a lot in this video. You know, the video I just showed you with this right here. Read what they're saying. How these things can slow you down as a distraction and push right through it to become and evolve to what you need to be. All right? Peace. Nigga.